been 3 weeks and I've thought about it. I've sat on it. I've chewed on it. We have processed. There are going to be no spoilers in this video, but if you have read these, I also made a spoiler version diving into exactly why and exactly what I didn't like, but there are no spoilers in this video, but I am going to tell you that I have officially come to the conclusion that I didn't like these. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. Listen, I understand that these are beloved by the Boys of Tommen community. I understand that. And I wanted to love them. I really, really did. And I just didn't. And here's why. Again, no spoilers. Like, I'm not even going to tell you what they're about. However, I will tell you that, so these are books 3 and 4 in the Boys of Tommen series. Books 1 and 2 follow a timeline of 2 people. Books 3 and 4 then go back to the exact same timeline and follow the points of view of 2 different people. However, these 2 people that these books follow were in books 1 and 2. So it's literally like you're reliving the exact same thing, just the camera has now shifted to like the minds and thoughts of 2 other people, but it's the same exact scenarios. So unlike other tandem reads, for example, the Throne of Glass tandem read or the Powerless, Powerful tandem read, where you're reliving the same timeline, but in different worlds, right? Like they're in different parts to where you're still reading 2 different stories, but on the same timeline. It's completely different because these are the exact same story, exact same timeline, just 2 different people. So I didn't know that. I thought that we were reliving the timeline in book 3, and then we might get some new content in book 4. I was completely wrong. We kind of go before the original timeline in this book, and then we relive the entire 13s through this book. And I didn't love that. I wanted more. I also didn't love the romance in this book. I know that a lot of people did, and I would love to dive into why, so go see my spoiler alert version. But I wanted to love these more than I did. And it wasn't for me. The content was a lot heavier and a lot more frustrating. I found myself very frustrated, very annoyed, very non-empathetic towards these characters, unfortunately. And I hate that for me. But I would highly recommend, if you have already read the 13s, or if you are going to read the 13s, I would highly recommend taking a break before the 6s. A lot of creators have said this before, and they have said take a break, but they never really said why. Take the break so that you can forget some of what happened, so that you can at least forget the dialogue, because a lot of the dialogue that was in the 13s is again in the 6s. All of this felt like I was having deja vu. I'm like, I've already listened to this conversation. I've already been in this scenario. I know exactly what's going to happen. And it got a little frustrating. It got a little redundant. It got a little repetitive. And I was just, by the time it was over, I was over it. So I would highly recommend taking a large break, like minimum 6 months. Not even kidding. You're not missing anything because you already read it. So I did give these books 4 stars. It's not that I didn't like the books. It's not that the writing was bad. It's not any of that. It's just that these couldn't even hold a candle to the 13s for me. So do with that what you will.